Welcome back, everyone. Another Drinks with Drake. Today, I'm very happy. I'm joining two of my favorite people here. Kyla, thanks for coming on. Might be a little spacey. I think I got a concussion a couple days ago, so we're gonna get through this one. Today we have, some.
It's a fancy Red Bull vodka.
Okay, I guess let's do this thing. You wanna pour yours? I'll pour it. I don't want to put too much energy drink in.
Better pour the liquor in there first.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Getting all antsy.
So I found this drink. This is like one of the drinks that Tim and I can agree on.
Yeah. Do you guys have trouble doing that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure.
All right.
Like-
What's your drink?
I am like immature drinker, and she is a mature drinker. Like she drinks like
Oh,
wine, and like the stouts, like the mature beers, and I'm kind of more the foo-foo.
I don't like beer. I mean, everybody's already heard that already, but I really don't think that it tastes good.
Yeah, it's because you're young.
Yeah.
I didn't like it when
Yeah.
I was in college or right out of college either.
I have a couple gateway beers if you want to try them sometime.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw your Instagram story, Kyla, and you guys were out drinking last night. You guys go to boot night at New Holland here, so that looked
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yep.
What'd you guys get?
I got some of their new Dragon's Milk release, which it's like a 17%.
Yeah.
I've heard
So
mixed
it only comes in
reviews
like
on
a
that.
5. It comes in like a 5 ounce. I like the bourbon.
She gets it.
stuff, so.
They bring it out in a 5-ounce glass, and you're only allowed 3. But then me, I get PB Hold the R.
Ooh, that was such a bad joke.
It's his drunk. No, it's his
Passion
drunk.
Blaster drink. It's a beer.
Yeah.
It's pretty foo-foo, but PBR sounds a lot more manly. So.
Was it good? You get it in the big mugs though.
Oh yeah, like 32 ounces, I think they are.
Yeah. No, the PB
Yeah.
Hold R is the drunk name that he gave the beer because he was embarrassed to keep requesting Passion Blaster beer.
So is that how you asked the people at
Yes.
Yeah.
New Holland?
Oh, God, it's
Yeah, I
this
think
whole
we're-
joke now.
We were already
Oh.
hammered. We were on the party bus, and we pull up to New Holland Brewing, and I'm like embarrassed to ask for this beer at the counter. So I'm like, I want a PB Hold the R, and the guy's like,
Oh, we got
And
the
I'm like,
waiter was not
Passion
loving
Blaster.
it.
Oh,
and then
God.
whenever I would go up, I'd be like, PB Hold the R. You know,
He did not think it was funny.
Maybe
terrible.
you're that guy now. You know what I
I'm
mean?
that guy. Like I'm, almost 40 years old. Yeah, I'm that guy.
He's got the dad joke.
Man, I love it. I love to hate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tim, you've been on the podcast before. Kyla, obviously, this is your first one.
Yes.
If you guys don't know, Kyla is our vice president of the company, ZZP. She runs the show here. Tell us what it was like to interview here. I always like to hear the first interviews.
Yeah, so mine was a little bit unique. Probably not unique, but definitely different from any other interview that I've ever had. I had scheduled it through email to come in, got the location. They told me I had a red awning on the building, but no signs out front. We still don't have signs out front.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And so I show up to the address, and I'm like, this cannot be it. It was the only red awning building in the area, so I assumed it had to be. But it was like, or if anybody's ever seen our old building, it's bad. But the front windows were all boarded up, basically.
I would
Like-
not have walked in if I was you. I don't know what you were thinking.
I don't know what. It's a very not Kyla thing to do
Yeah.
to have
Oh, no.
actually go into this interview with us, because like the lights are all off, so it's not even like you can see through the glass door that's not boarded up to where you could see like offices and looking normal. It was all dim lit. There was no cars really out front because there's not really a big parking lot in the front of that old building.
Mhm.
Zoom's tinted out Escalade at the time was parked up there, so that was the only
Yeah.
vehicle parked up front.
Trusty vehicle, if you ask me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
called-
imagine this. The old building, glass, like the whole front of the building is glass. It has pieces of used drywall. Like you peeled this
Particle
piece
board,
of
yeah.
drywall off the wall and didn't have anything to do with it, and you don't want to like have people looking in the windows, so you just set it up against the glass.
Why
on
didn't
the
we want people
inside.
looking in the windows?
It was not. I mean, it was like the cubicles were set up to where those windows were in like Zoom and at the time Eric's office, so you would have been looking in at someone's desk very directly. So
Yeah.
we just had it set up that way. I don't know, but
We don't want to give them our part secret. You know what I mean?
yeah. So I called my mom. I got into the parking lot, got there a little early. I called my mom. And I'm like, oh my god, this is shady as hell. Hey, if you don't hear from me, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing.
This is my location.
Yeah, this is bad. I don't know what prompted me to actually go in and do it, because it's not. It's not a thing that I would normally do. But anyway, I did.
It never in a million years. Like I do not understand it to this day. Like I'm married to her, and like I see the things that she won't do.
Yeah.
I still question how she ended up going in for that interview, and then how we're married still
It's
to this
fate.
day.
It's fate.
Yeah, so some part of me somewhat believes in that because that's kind of it was against what I stand for in most cases. But yeah, walked in, it was like an hour interview.
Who interviewed you?
Eric.
Okay.
He's not here any longer. So yeah, it was an hour interview. He was asking me like if I knew what these car parts were that were laid out next to the windowsill. Like I did not know that was a prerequisite. Not
So you didn't know?
qualified for this. No, I had no idea. I had nothing about cars. I was like, it was like a data entry position. So I mean, I was thinking I was sitting at the computer.
Right here, now you're here.
Yeah.
You were here, now you're here.
Yeah. So yeah, but that was my interview. And then I left and I was like, yeah, I'm cool if I don't get that job. That was fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing was really weird. Like I'm good. I probably don't belong there.
Yeah.
But then I got another email or a call. I can't remember exactly, but a day later, the next day, and then they asked me to come back in to meet Zoom before they offered the position. Like
How
a
was
second
that?
interview. It wasn't that weird. I met Eric again, so I sat down, and then he called Zoom in, and Zoom kind of just leaned against the window, asked me a couple questions.
Very
then-
Zoom-esque.
And then he just kind of left, like Zoom does. He
Just takes
walks-
off mid-conversation
just
sometimes.
kind of walked out. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I guess we're done here. And then that was it. Then had the job.
So how'd you work your way up to VP? Give us the cliche. Worked really hard.
No, I busted my ass.
Yeah.
Tim can vouch for me a little bit.
For sure.
I'm definitely one of those people who I don't want anybody to think that I had anything handed to me.
Yeah.
I want to prove that I've worked for what I get.
I want to hear the juicy stuff though. Like you
Oh,
were snapping
there's,
necks.
like, okay, so
Oh my
I can
gosh.
give you some. I mean, she came in. I think it was like data entry, and I think primarily phone. So
No,
she
I
like,
wasn't meant to answer the phone. It was like in the middle of the office, not at anybody's desk. It was like in this middle station. And that was back when we had one number. And then the phone would just ring all day and no one would answer it.
Classic Kyla. Fuck this shit. I'm answering the phone.
Yep.
So I'm like, what? I can't. Well, one, it was just really freaking annoying. I'm not going to sit here and listen to this phone ring all day. So I just started answering it. And of course, everybody wanted tech support. I had no idea about anything car related. Not even close. So that's actually how I was more connected with Tim, is I'd always go to Tim because he was really nice to me.
Pretty much.
He was always really helpful when I'd have questions because
I'm sure.
I'd want to help. I'd want to help the customer, so I would I'd take what they needed for okay, what do you need answered? I'll go check with the tech. So I'd go check with Tim, get the answers as best I could, and then relay it to the customer. And then that's kind of how I started. That's how I started learning about the cars and knowing more of the technical aspects of what everybody was working on and what they were doing, which helped when you have that tie into seeing all the parts and everything on paper and on the site. And then from there, I don't know,
The paperless.
Oh,
like
yeah.
we would get an order in, and then you would print this piece of paper, and hopefully this piece of paper makes it to the shipping person,
Right.
and then that shipping person like ships it, and that paper doesn't get lost. Well, Kyle's like, this makes no sense. We have no way of tracking this order coming in and this order actually shipping out.
Right.
So she's like, let's try this paperless system.
I was
which
so excited about this. I put
Innovation.
this little
Yeah.
binder together because I was going to present it. Because I'm pretty low on the totem pole. I'm not really like, here's my idea.
Right.
Everybody takes me seriously. So I put a lot of energy and effort into presenting this. Tested it a bunch with Tim's help. I test out some different ways to do it and presented it. And that was the first time I probably cried aggressively at work because Zoom laid me out for my idea. Oh God, it was horrible. It was brutal. Oh, it was bad. And that's like back in the day, we had this like fishbowl office for meetings, and it was not private at all. It was
Yeah.
like this glass door. We'd use the customer waiting room. So anybody that's been in our old customer waiting room is this glass door, and then we'd have the meeting in there. So everybody that walked by could see and hear everything. I don't even know why we pretended like it was a private area.
Yeah.
So it was just horrible. But yeah, he hated the idea because I didn't talk to enough people. I didn't get enough feedback. I didn't get enough perspectives. I didn't, you name it. The list went on. And the reasons he hated it. And yeah, that was the first big thing, and then, I still pushed through with it. Really, I just said, "Fuck it, we're gonna do this," and I just kept, improving the system, making it better, and going about it a little bit differently, and eventually we put that into place, and since then that's kind of been my thing, is going through finding maybe different inefficiencies or things that we need to improve, and
she was
solutions.
vice president for years before actually getting the title.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, I think we got to a point to where like everybody needs job titles.
Yeah,
and,
we
and
went
then
through a
Zoom's
thing where we
like,
thought it was important to have a job title.
holy crap! Like she's pretty much vice president. Vice
Right.
president.
Been in the role for that long, but just not have the title.
Yep.
Which we realized when we went up through that phase of thinking titles were relevant. We went through that phase and realized they're not, and it's kind of dumb to have them. So.
Yeah, you always tell me I can be vice president for the day if I want to.
Anybody can have. If anybody here wants to be vice president, if they want to call themselves CEO, they can do that, because we
Good
don't.
luck.
I'm not doing that. You think I'm fucking crazy?
It's not about what your title says. Your title doesn't dictate who you are and what you do here.
Yeah.
It's so much more than that. So, I think titles are more for what you try to tell that people outside of here to maybe make yourself feel better about what you're doing or how you're doing it and things like that. So it's definitely not for anybody in here, because you could, like I said, you could go call yourself the vice president and then go talk to somebody else. They're not going to treat you like the vice president because you haven't earned that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely got to earn what you got.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta show your shit around here. Otherwise, it's no one's gonna listen to a title.
I do appreciate it though. Like, in most companies you wouldn't be able to joke around with like the CEO or somebody that's in like a vice president or even someone like high your position. But fuck that, I joke around all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
It gets you in trouble sometimes.
Well, that's one of my favorite things about ZZP.
But I like how you can joke with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though that you guys have higher positions than me, because it's like it's almost like, I know you say it's a family, but like it literally is. Like you can joke around, but then you got to know your place too at some point. So.
Yeah, I think
Not. I mean, I guess you have to respect the people that make the most best decisions. I guess
100%, yeah.
But like, not all. Like, none of us are always right, and all of us are always looking for feedback.
I think it's more about respecting what someone's bringing to the table. You don't have to be a decision maker or any of that. You just have to respect that everyone here is here for a reason, and what that reason is it's important to ZZP. And if you can't respect why someone's here and what they bring to the table, then that's where there's an issue. But I don't think it, again, that has nothing to do with your title.
Right.
What you bring to the table is your thing, and as long as everybody's bringing something to the table, that's what matters, and then we're all on that same playing field of, this is what I'm bringing to the table. I'm bringing something to the table.
Mm-hmm. Well, we both know you work really hard, obviously. What was it like when you guys started dating? You know what I mean? You guys are my favorite couple.
I will say, wait,
you guys are my favorite ZZP couple.
I do want to say this. I don't recommend it to anyone.
Yeah. It took us.
Horrible.
Tim's like,
how many years?
It's a bad idea. If you haven't started
how many years
it,
did it take us to figure out how to get it? It took us at least
4 or 5.
Probably, at least 5 years to figure it out.
Damn, that's a long time.
Her and I had a lot of fights in the beginning.
Oh,
a lot.
For sure.
Would you guys have them at work?
Sometimes.
No, not really.
Kind of. It depended on what it was, because we're obviously comfortable with each other to have, well, like everybody here, right? Like, if you've got an opinion, you state it, and someone disagrees,
then fuck you.
There can be an argument. So, we did the same thing. We never brought our personal stuff to ZZP.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was actually way more the opposite. It would be ZZP stuff came home.
Yeah.
So we would have ZZP stuff, and then it would potentially come home with us, and that was more of the issue. We never had personal stuff that then came into ZZP.
I mean, we still will argue about situations, but it's not it's not heated anymore.
Yeah.
No.
We argue, but we can quickly just move on.
Yeah.
We don't hold a grudge towards each other, have a difference in opinion.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We work very well together now. In fact, if you ask Zoom, I mean, we better each other.
Yeah.
And I'll back that.
Right.
I mean, I'll back that, not to get brownie points with her as much as she is extremely careful and I'm extremely careless.
Yeah.
She's conservative and I'm risky. And it's there's a lot of times I help her, by it's going to be fine. Let's just do this. And then it works out. And there's a lot of times I'm I'm going to do this. And she's like, no, you probably shouldn't do that. And then I don't. And it's it may have worked out. It may not have. But most likely it probably wouldn't have worked out. So I mean, we have two totally different personalities, and they
Oh, yeah.
both come
Totally
together and
different.
work
Oh, yeah.
very, very well.
We are opposites in more ways than we're the same.
Yeah.
That's good though. Opposites attract, I hear.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that we really share in common is ZZP.
Yeah.
Like that's
We're both super passionate about the company. I mean, we both view ZZP as a child.
Yeah.
You know,
And you guys are married.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I guess that's what you have in common as well.
But we wouldn't have made it
Yeah.
to the married point without that big key common thing. But
Yep.
everything else we're pretty much opposites on.
What was it like when you guys went to Zoom and be like, hey, we're kicking it?
We didn't.
Whew.
Well, kind of. Oh.
Whew.
It was more on him because I wasn't.
I
this
still
was
have
early.
the email I got from Zoom. It
Really?
was
Because
it
hang
was
on, it
rough.
was. I started in like October,
Bark, bark.
and we started dating like officially in like January.
Pretty much, yeah.
So
Yep.
in January, so I'm like new. I'm
Yeah.
just this new. I don't know Zoom. We're not like we have conversations daily now.
Mhm.
I don't know if I'd had one conversation with him at this point. You know what I mean? Other than him saying this is what I need, and then me just saying it's done
Uh-oh.
or something like that, right? So then Tim's obviously been there for a lot of years prior, and he has the relationship with Zoom. And I guess Zoom was not okay with us being in a relationship.
He wasn't not okay with it. He just warned me.
Yeah.
He's like, this chick is she's a pretty good employee.
Yeah. Don't
And
ruin
if you
it.
two end up dating and she ends up leaving because you two like break up,
It's your ass.
you're going to be responsible to replace her position.
Ugh.
And it was very well worded, but like that's the gist of it. Like, it was a very long email, but that's the point. Like,
Yeah.
you are responsible
Don't
to
fuck
fill, like, to figure out or to find somebody to fill her shoes. Which, if you look at it, I mean, she's a vice freaking president
VP.
now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But
I was not.
it was
even
very
close back
fortunate
then,
it worked.
Yeah.
but- Yeah. Yeah, for you, for sure.
You guys are nuts.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it, like that this was the thing. And then Tim, like, he was all stressed out one day when he got the email, and then he told me about it, and I, way more back then, lost my shit. I'm like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? I'm a worrier. I'm like, what are we gonna do? Should we end it now? Do we don't
Yeah.
been together for a couple months? But Tim being the
Tim
fuck it, let's
being me
do it.
was like, let's do this.
Fuck it,
All
let's do
in.
Turbo
it.
Tim, baby.
Yep.
So it kind of was like a.
That's how I'm good at what I do. Is
You know,
I just head first.
Let's
But
go.
part of it was like, I think a lot of it was we had to kind of decide and to be dedicated to what we were doing early on.
Mhm.
Yep.
We couldn't just like let it take its path and see how it went. We kind of had to decide like, are we going to try to make this work or not? Pretty early on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So-
early enough to where if we weren't really dating-ish. Like, we
No.
were kind of dating,
Yeah,
but
it
like
wasn't super official.
we could have
but
like stopped dating.
Nowadays we call
And-
that kicking it.
it was very different back
Probably
then. too.
not that definition.
Just kicking it, hanging around,
It
being
was
cool.
it was earlier in the relationship than just kicking it, because
Oh.
I know what that means.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But, our relationship started out correctly.
Yeah. That's cool.
So, yeah.
Both you guys have your own teams, kind of like here. Obviously, like we're kind of grouped in like marketing and customer service. And what's one thing you guys try to implement in your team? Like the thing like this is what I want for my team from the get.
That's super tough. Well,
That's a
one,
package deal, man.
One, I don't think that you
Lay it
get
on
to
me.
dictate that, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the hardest part is you try to put together the best people to get the best results. Like there's not like a thing that obviously you want teamwork from any team.
I'm the best person on your team. Just
See,
kidding.
Here's my thing. Like,
Thanks, Alex.
everybody needs constructive criticism, and that can be brutal.
Yeah.
But like, my big thing with constructive criticism is you have to like
Don't be a bitch.
kind of tear somebody down,
Yeah.
but not too down to where they're like, I don't care anymore. I can't hear anything you're saying anymore. Because like, if I go to you and I'm like, Drake, you suck,
Yeah.
you will not hear anything else I say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you have like the key to an employee and making an employee better is like tearing them down, but then bringing them back up.
Mhm.
And you can't bring them down too low, because you bring them down too low, they're gonna quit.
They're
You bring them
stuck,
down
yeah.
too low, they are just like F you in their head or potentially out loud.
Facebook.
F you and just walk out the front door.
Right.
It happens. So that's the key, is figuring out everybody's level. That's one thing that I think both of us have learned from Zoom.
Yeah.
Zoom has he has torn us both down to, I mean, even me, he's torn me down to tears before. It's...
It didn't catch you for a cry, Tim.
It's
I'm
more
not
out
really.
Of anger. I was
but
gonna say mine's more out of
an
being
angry
pissed
cry.
off.
Yeah, mine
it's not
too.
like the sad cry. It's
Yeah.
like
there's no whimpering.
Yeah.
But you get so mad, your eyes tear up and your lip starts, and you're like, don't quiver.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Be a man, you know, all this, But yeah, I mean, it's but I kind of owe a lot of my life direction to Zoom because I wasn't programmed to be successful. I mean, that was taught.
Yeah.
That was taught, and that was like a perfect combination of my personality and I'm rebellious, but enough to where I know that he means well, and he always has.
Right.
He's said some rough stuff to both of us, but it always is meant to make us better.
Make you stronger, yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a unique strategy. It's not
a lot of people can't handle it and they leave.
Yeah.
But I would say that it's not just that. I think one of the things if I have a team that I'm working with, I don't think that I necessarily do that the way that Zoom does. You have to have that because that's how Zoom runs the company, but that's not necessarily how I do everything. I'm not the same as Zoom, and I don't think Tim's the same as Zoom.
Yeah.
We're definitely different. It's one of those things you have to have if you're working with Zoom. But for me, it's honesty. I want everybody to be just open and honest. I want everybody to be real. I don't want the bullshit and then you go home and bitch about something. I want it to be all out on the table. Everybody to be honest. Yeah.
You don't want phonies.
I would like that open conversation, that open dialogue, because I think if everybody does that, we can get somewhere with something, right? If there's issues or if there's problems that we're facing as a team within the team or as in the company, it's just so much easier when everybody is really addressing what the issues are and we're not trying to say what we think we should say or stuff like that. And that's one of the things I like about ZZP is you have the ability to be completely honest, and you're not going to get fired for it.
No,
you're not. Your opinion is not going to get you kicked out.
You might get some gift cards if you're honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
depends, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that's what I value because that makes it the easiest to manage and to get the team together is having that, having everybody have that.
What was the lowest point for you at ZZP? You're just like, fuck, I want to be out of here.
That's a good question. Tim can probably answer that a little bit easier than I can.
Probably NetSuite?
For
Our
me,
inventory software?
Oh, shit.
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like it's probably more the website failure. So
it's always implementing a change.
Yes.
And
because
that change not going perfectly.
Right.
That's kind of my job, right? I have to come up with solutions.
You're the fixer.
So I come up with a lot of different crazy ideas. I'm programmed enough now to run them all by Zoom. But I mean, as I'm sure a ton of our customers know, we've always had website issues. It's been our Achilles heel since I've been here.
Sorry.
But last year we took a risk and we wanted to try a startup company, and it failed. And we had a lot of money into that, and it was huge. It was a huge failure. It was a huge hit for the company. We lost a lot of money.
We're not sure quite what the number is on that. But...
It depends. If Zoom's telling you the number, it keeps going up as we move forward. But
we're up to 2 mil right now.
Something like that. But yeah, I thought we were up to 6 mil. I don't know.
Just kidding. Sorry, Zoom. Tomorrow's Friday. I shouldn't have said that.
But yeah, I think that was the hardest thing for me because...
you have a meeting with Zoom tomorrow.
I know. I just got the calendar. 4:45 meeting with Zoom.
But no, I think that was the biggest... it was tough because I knew it was a failure. And no one ever wants to have to admit failures. That's another pretty big key to being here is you have to be capable and willing to do that. But it was a pretty big failure. And I mean, it wasn't just me. It's not like I was the one that was running around, everybody follow me. This is what we're doing. And you have to do what I say. It was definitely a team effort. It was not the best team effort and team decision making and things like that. We should have pulled the plug sooner. But at the same time, again, I kind of feel like things happen for a reason when they need to.
Yeah.
If we wouldn't have failed that bad, we wouldn't have known how bad it can be and where we needed to go from there to where we could have potentially made that same mistake further down the line when it was more costly for the company. So I think it happened when it needed to. And we've definitely bounced back from it and made better decisions because of it. But I definitely got a lot of heat from everyone in the company because we were down in sales, and I'm the one that has to take, I'm the one in charge. I got to take responsibility for that. When that happens, it's a lot on your shoulders, which is why a lot of people don't want positions like the one I have, because you kind of have to take all of that.
This is kind of a good time to, I mean, this is how, like, we're down on inventory right now. Like, we tried the new website. It burned up a lot of money. Burning up money makes it hard to order replacement products. And then you're down on inventory. That's kind of why we're probably low on inventory right now. I mean, it's coming in, but, it's just parts of business. I mean, we're real people making real mistakes, and
we don't got
our
robots
customers
here.
see this, and, this is why.
Yeah, it's definitely, but I think one of the great things about this company is we're able to fail. We're able to make mistakes as long as you're learning from them. Yeah. You can't make the same mistake twice. That's bad. But if you're learning from them and your results can improve the company, then it's worth it, right? Yeah. And so as much as what I went through, personally, because it was more what I put on myself mentally than it was even outwardly. I say I was probably harder on myself than anybody was, but once you can, get past that, and as long as we're making this better, then that's what we need from everybody at ZZP.
I just thought of a really good question. Usually I just go based off like what everybody else asks, but I thought of a good one.
Oh, God.
What was your proudest moment at ZZP? That's a good one. I feel like you guys have a lot of proud moments.
Yes,
well, it doesn't have to be together. You know what I mean?
Yes and no. I think, okay, so this is a thing that we do more recently than we did before, but because at ZZP you don't get a lot of accolades for what you do. You don't get pats on the back. It's expected that everybody performs at this really high level, and you get shit on if you don't.
Soldiers.
But if you hit this exceptional level, then that's just what's expected. Right. So you don't get pats on the back or any of these things. So a lot of times it feels like accomplishments don't get
recognized.
So it's definitely a thing where you have to be really good at internalizing what you feel is an accomplishment and being proud of yourself.
I'm a badass boy all day. You know what I mean?
So you definitely have to have that to work here, I think. If you expect other people to be patting you on the back constantly, you won't make it here. So with that, this Black Friday was huge for ZZP in general. Because we finally didn't go down on our website. So we finally found the web solution that we needed.
Shout out Alex.
Yep. So we finally got that solved and put into place, and it didn't go down. And that was a big thing because it's basically ever since I've been here, the 11 years I've been here, it's gone down. Yeah. So this was the first one it didn't go down. So that was huge for me and the team that I work with. But the big thing for us is
everybody. It was a win-win.
Everybody's pumped.
But I think one of the things that we do now is we celebrate little things. So, but typically, Zoom and I get into a lot of arguments. Almost daily, we're arguing. And some people, if you're new, it's like, what's going on?
I had that what the fuck moment once, and I was like, shit, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, oh my God, this is bad.
Then I was in one of the meetings, I'm like, yo, this is normal.
Because this is how we communicate to some degree, is very aggressively. But one of these things is we get to state our case and have your moment and say, okay, this is what I think. And usually we go with what Zoom thinks. But what's fantastic is I'm right a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say a lot. I mean, I'm right a good majority.
She's right a lot because she is not afraid to research.
Right.
Like, I'm a little lazy when it comes to researching stuff. She's not. So it's like she is constantly researching.
Wants the numbers.
Sometimes, like, I don't stick my neck out unless I'm confident about what I'm sticking my neck out on. So we'll have these arguments, and if we go Zoom's route and he ends up being wrong, first of all, I always say in the arguments now, like, okay, this is my stance. So when you have to come back around and say, I told you so, right? Like, I love the I told you so. Which is not probably like healthy, maybe.
Maybe it is though.
I don't know.
Maybe it is.
It works here.
It feels good.
Here you have to.
So we started celebrating the I told you so's because Zoom doesn't ever really say you were right. That'll never come out of his mouth. I'm pretty confident.
Never
right?
heard of it.
Like, never. So when you're right, and then it kind of comes around, and you're like, oh, so I was right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just let him know.
So we started popping a bottle of champagne every time I get a I was right. Woohoo!
Dang, you guys got to be
So that's
alcoholics
like-
then if you're gonna be all right all the time.
No, I mean it's not that often, but like there are some stances that I'll take, and they're aggressive. And if I end up being right in the end, we celebrate because again, you gotta celebrate those little things to
Yeah.
keep you like going forward with this. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah,
easy.
hers sound a little better than mine. I'm just a car guy, so a whole bunch of records.
Yeah, his is.
I have
yeah, I didn't even-
multiple ZZP cars, multiple records, and I love all of them.
I
Yeah.
don't even.
You know, fastest supercharged LSJ, quarter mile time. Fastest ATSV on the planet still. Nobody even close.
Come test him.
And then fastest my Grand Prix back in the day. Like I was the first one to I think break 400 wheel horsepower, and I was like I think maybe the first normal car to run 10s.
You want to know why?
You know, it was.
Because you're a bad boy. You know what
I'm
I
just
mean?
passionate, man. Like
Yeah.
like all three of us are passionate. I got a question for you.
Competitive.
Oh shit.
What did you think about rock climbing with Noah, Alex, and I
gosh.
this weekend?
Okay, so for people, I'm excited because this is my first race season come up. So like anybody that watches the podcast, like I'll finally be able to interact with customers that get to watch this, like a dyno day and stuff. I feel like you guys know me pretty well though from the podcast. I'm a cocky son of a bitch. I like ZZP's competitive and cocky,
Yeah.
but I take it to a whole nother. Like I'm up there with like Tim. Like I'm very cocky. So all week, Noah, one of the car guys, I think, what does he do here? He does
He's
just
like
ask
head porter, like
I know he does car stuff. He's not in the
engine
front office. He's in the back.
engine assembly, head porting. I mean, he does
Pretty
a
much
lot
whatever.
of things.
Whatever
here.
we need him to do.
He's like a
Jack of all trades.
Yeah,
Whatever
but,
we need to get him in.
like when I see him, he's like, you know, he's a smaller dude. Like he's not like a yoked guy, jacked. Alex is our IT guy. I want to get him on the show. Doesn't want to come on the show. He's not a camera guy. And then Tim, we're all like, yeah, let's go do some rock climbing. I was like, all right, whatever, bro. I'm gonna be so good at this. I'm gonna be so good. Like I'm
Trying
strong.
to convince you that it has nothing to do with strength.
That's what you were telling me all week, and I was like, no, I can lift a bunch of weights. Like I'm fine.
So that
You know
he
what I mean?
wasn't like super cocky about it. Like bring it down a few because
Yeah.
you're gonna be really disappointed in the results. But
So I get there, and in my head, I'm thinking like rock climbing. Like I'm gonna have a harness on. Someone's gonna be pulling me up if I can't get up there. No, this is called bouldering, and these people all look like they're straight from Colorado, like very hipster guys,
Yeah.
like lengthy, skinny dudes. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna rock this out.
All these people look the same.
First wall, it's like a zero wall, like zero. It's like 9 or something. 9's the hardest. I can't remember what
Yeah,
it is.
something like that. The number, the higher you go, the harder the wall.
Yeah, I get to 0, boom, get up there easy. Second one, boom, get up there easy. Tim looks at me, he's like, hey man, you want to like chill out with the upper body stuff? Like it's gonna get harder. You want to say, what'd you say? You want to save yourself for the end
The
of the
rest
night.
of the day,
Yeah.
you know.
So I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. Tim gets up there. He's got great flexibility. Never seen a guy like that get that flexible. I was like, all right, boom, fine.
Definitely the oldest guy there too, by far.
Oh yeah, yeah, sure.
Me.
I'm not saying it, but yeah, sure. So then we get to this other wall, and it's like a 2 or something. And like 2 is hard still. 2 and 3 are like
Yeah.
difficult. I get up there, I'm like, oh, no problem. And I get up there, and I'm grabbing the wall. I'm like, shit, I can't do this. My limbs are not moving the way I want them to. So I fall down. I got all these people waiting in line to go back on the wall. I let them have a break. And then I just get into pissed off mood. Like it goes from like competitive having fun to like competitive pissed off. And I get pissed off. Tim's like, no, Tim's great. No, it's okay. Just keep working on it. It's all about technique. Use your legs. Noah's like, yeah, just like this. Climbs up the frickin' wall like a spider monkey.
Yeah,
And I was
Noah's
what
a badass.
What the hell is this? Goes on. Then we go to this one wall, and it's shaped like, kind of like this. And like, if you fall, it's called getting cheese grated.
Yeah.
I have a big ass scrape on my elbow. I don't know if you saw it. I didn't want to show anybody. I kept going like this for the rest of the time because I didn't want to show weakness.
Everybody's got those
Couldn't do it.
scars.
Couldn't do it. We went upstairs and we did one of those indenting walls. Alex gets up. It's super easy. Can't do it. I'll go back and I will be better. But I got knocked down a peg. I was pissed
Yeah.
off. I felt like I let you guys down. My cockiness did not hold up there.
No, Noah said that he's brought friends there before that couldn't make it up a 0. And you made it up like a 2?
I think I got up to 2. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Maybe a
that's
3.
That's great.
I think I got up to 3 halfway up to 3. But I was actually pretty like impressed with like Alex and you. Like you guys are pretty good. I just need to use my legs.
Yeah, Alex.
It's,
Alex
Alex,
killing it.
it's, about,
Alex
it's one of those
impressed
things
me.
that's about technique. You can't just muscle your way through it. You'll
Yeah.
Alex is very. he's very light and he's very flexible. So
Yeah.
he actually did really well for his first day. He did way better than I did on my first day.
Yeah.
Because I'm still like, I'm a cross between like, I'll still muscle my way up a wall occasionally too, but there are some that you just can't. Like, it's all technique. And then Noah's a very good teacher too. He'll be like, rotate your hips.
I didn't like how nice they were being.
You know, use the tips of your toes, not the side of your foot.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely, you do not want to do what your body naturally wants to do.
I think I was gripping the wall too hard too. Like I don't need to like. I was really squeezed. That probably doesn't look good on camera. I was really squeezing the wall.
It's just like snowboarding. Like you go snowboarding and you go down the hill once and you're sweating and you're just like, holy crap, I'm so tired. And then you go, you know, another like 5 or 6 times,
A million.
and you just go, you just go all day and you never sweat.
Tim,
Because it's just so relaxing and you just know what to do.
you scared me when you were going up the wall. I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of yourself going up the wall, but you have the most terrifying look when you're trying to get on the wall. Well, guys, we're going to wrap this up a little bit. We ran over time a little bit. Usually I have a 30-minute mark. But I appreciate you guys coming on. I definitely want to have you guys back. Anybody watching this will be at Grid Life, so come drink with us. We'll definitely have a good time. Thanks. Power move.